Welcome to the bold analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, the king is exposed. And the king has been exposed by his servants. And when the king is exposed, the country is waiting to see how the king will behave. I am speaking about something that has really shocked me. Deputy Chief of Staff, the former Turkana governor, Josephat Nanok, is implicated in a misappropriation of 5 billion from Narok County government. Josephat Nanok works in Statehouse. And Nanok is now facing that charge. These are among top 10 men that will be hanging around William Ruto. Everywhere the president goes, we'll always see Nanok. How will the country see Kenya Kwanza administration, view Kenya Kwanza administration, their fight against corruption, if president's right-hand man is implicated in such a huge corruption case? Ladies and gentlemen, Head of Public Service Felix Kosgei last week handed out of office 2 CEOs. One, Twitter, was in charge of Athi River, who was facing some corruption case, allegations of some corruption, procurement at the Athi River Water Agency, and Samuel Oruma, who was hounded out of office by police because there are some smoke of there is a smoke of corruption in the Rift Valley Water Agency. So just a week after that, Kosgei's deputy Nanok is implicated in a 5 billion corruption syndicate. Now we are waiting, Mr. President. If your government and your team are conscious, intentional, and deliberate about fight against corruption, then it must start. You must look left, right, and center and ask yourself, who around me is clean? Who around me is clean? But then let me give you a story within a story, anecdote. I've read the article, the way Samuel Oruma was hounded out of his Nakuru office. When the police went, I think the CEO, because the CEO of the board, had already, the chairperson of the board, had already carried some it was to be go on some compulsory leave. So even after that, before that letter was taken to him, the police were called, and immediately that chairperson went with that letter. That guy carried a gun, was having a gun in the office. Of course, he's a licensed gun holder, of course, and was nearly shooting that chairperson. So I've always looked, if there are corruption, there have been corruption scandals that people have always mentioned about. But where would this one be in a situation where someone is even also even threatening to shoot? It also tells you that maybe it was not handled in the right manner. And so, another pointer to this is this. Lawyer Ahmed Nasir have been telling this country that the billions that Uhuru era CS carried home and what was really stolen during Uhuru era, if they are recouped, there will be enough to pay our debts. But the good lawyers are also silent and quiet about this report that apparently what is happening is that even those around Kenya Kwanza have been implicated in such corruption scandals. Now, if Uhuru era billions are enough to pay our debts, can the Danok billions also enough to pay our debts? You know, and look at how Mandago's case was handled. By the way, let me ask you, how did Mandago's case go? It's silent. I saw those students, some of them are still struggling, asking for refund. They even wrote a letter to the president, asking the president for the refund, and the president proposed that government was going to sponsor them when they studied in that London or Canada. And you know, we questioned, why would the president, why will he not speak? He spoke about how Mandago will be punished and all that, and all, you know, all those political statements on how Mandago will be dealt with. But after that, they will still be willing to compensate those kids. And I was like, was it the compensation of those kids? Because compensation was supposed to be done by the respective organization, county government. But then government was also coming in protection of Mandago. Now, there is a clear sign. And we have to agree. We have to agree on a few things here. There is a political interpretation about why the corruption riddle cannot, and William Ruto intentionally is not handling it. There is that riddle is what I want to unriddle here. Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and like our video. Thank you very much for supporting our podcast. I'm so much grateful for your support, and may God really bless you. I am still asking on behalf of a boy here. I've just pinned his number here. This boy is a student, I think, in Chukwuemeka University, and he's in need of some fees. Probably it's 15,000, so that I just know we enroll. And I just want to pin his number. For those who are willing and able to support this boy, kindly alipiwe, mtusaidie alipie fees, so that you can contact him. You can give him a call. For those who cannot, can still get to me. You can still also get to me, and I can coordinate so that kijana alipiwe fees. He studies in Meru, and I said I'm not going to do a fund. 15,000 ni kitu watu wawili ama mmoja anaweza fanya, so that tusaidie. You know, we always said humanity comes first. So tasema hizi siasa, but in the bold we are part of the solution. Such a problem, kijana afanye mtihani so that amalize. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you something. Why the corruption riddle is one of the biggest mountains that Kenya Kwanza cannot handle. Never again should we be told about Kenyatta, and I'm going to look at that. Number one is because there is a very clear signal that what is seen, the proceeds of these misappropriations might have gotten into campaign system. At one point someone was asking, so how many votes did Ruto get in Turkana? In the whole Mount Kenya, in the whole Valley region, how many votes did Ruto get in Turkana? Raila got more votes. So how much do you think Danok brought? Do you think Danok was ahead of his campaign secretariat? Yes. But do you think that was enough for him to be given Statehouse? No. There is some clear sign that part of financing UDA campaigns, some of these issues we are seeing as corruption scandals might have gotten used in it. That's number one. Number two, the corruption riddle has become difficult to handle because corruption is thriving even in government now. So you cannot blow my cover because I can also blow your cover. You know, some of these people are in very powerful positions. powerful positions. And there are some corruption scandals. Look at, there's some corruption scandals that have really emerged. But even those institutions, the DPP, I heard the other day, Ruto telling the DPP, the new DPP, Mungele, that do not fear criticism. You will have to be criticized for that job, in that job, but do not fear criticism. So it's also a clear sign that those that their covers cannot be blown, because even as we speak, they're into offices and corruption is thriving. And you know, you can only call out corruption if you are clean. But if you're not clean, there is no way you can call corruption by its ugly face. And that's one of the reasons why this is happening. Number 3, why corruption riddle has failed to be handled is because of political potency, or rather political insecurity. Some of these people that are implicated in corruption scandals are people that maybe they are put into some strategic positions for political optics. And you know, I want to use a different example. I want to use Moses Kuria. Moses Kuria, everyone in this country believed that Ruto needed to sanitize himself by firing Moses Kuria from cabinet. Only for Rigathi Gachagua again to go and tell us that forget about it, Moses Kuria is going nowhere. And in fact, there was a meeting between Moses Kuria and Rigathi Gachagua. So they cannot be chased. Simply because, and this is also a ministry that was riddled by, apart from the bad mouthing talk, that ministry was also riddled by some dubious deals. So it's clear that is also one of the challenges that is happening here. Thank you, guys. Let's meet in the next.